And let's get to our guest speaker today. This gentleman is amazing man. He's an amazing leader, friend, community leader. Dad, I mean, he's just touched so many lives in and out of ACN, health wise, spiritual wise. Just want to give you a great platform to run on. He's like no other. Matter of fact, when God made him, God looked at that mole and said, "Let me keep this mole around." And he looked at the mole for about 3 seconds, like, "Oh, heck no, we got to break this mole because he's going to be one of a kind." And he is that. He's a one of a kind gentleman. And yes, sometimes like me, he may get under your skin, but there's a reason for that because we want to see growth in you. We want to see more than what you can do because we know that God gave you more than what you're capable of doing right now, and we want to see the best in you. So, without further ado, here again, you know how much I feel about this young man, and I love his SVP promotion was on the best in the history of ACN. Anytime we have Marvin Sapp sing to the whole international 12,000 people, and have his father standing right next to him, one of his fathers anyway, Les Brown. I mean, I ain't never seen nothing like that in my life. So without further ado, give a warm welcome to the one and only Dr. Byron Nelson. Come on, everybody.
I am on this health binge. You guys are going to have to indulge me. Dr. Thomas said all those great things about me. One day he's going to let me come on here and do a full health conversation. Oh my God, it's just something about knowing what you don't know. For those of you who don't know about fulvic acid, it is the eighth wonder of the world, Jesus. We'll get into that later. But all that being said, I'm excited to be here. Good morning. Everybody's up and ready to rock. Y'all ready? I just had this conversation about understanding who you let in your house. You got to know who's in your house, because without knowing who's in your house, I mean, and you got to, my father, when I was young, I would have a lot of people come into my house because he was always afraid I was going to give. He was afraid of, if he wrote the will, I was going to give everything away. Either I was going to give it away to a whole bunch of strays, or I was going to give it away to some woman who was going to come and take advantage of me, based on the fact that I just love to galvanize and help and serve and love on people. Fortunately, things, and you can write this down, we'll jump right in. I have a whole lot of juicy nuggets here. Things are caught, not taught. Things are caught, not taught. So, me being around my father, I caught a whole lot. And one thing I caught was not letting everybody in your house. But what I did do is I learned how to build a fortress. So your fortress is your life. Okay, Najee, if you guys are with me on that so far, with the metaphor. Your house, your fortress is your life. And if the fortress is your life, then you have to protect it with everything, because that's your sanctuary. So a lot of people look up halfway through their life and like, how did this person get in my life? How did I get in this relationship? How did I get stuck here? How did I get caught up with this? All these different dimensions of, how do I get these people out of my house? How did I get, I'm kind of stuck. All this crap, but you got to understand, I speak of these people, and some of you have heard me say this in the training. I never believed in, goblins and ghosts and witches and vampires until you meet them. And then I did not know that, they would come in the form of your family and friends, some of the people closest to you. Now I could really spin off on that. But the thing that I share is that these, what I call energy drains, are people that you let in. How does a vampire get in your house? You have to invite them. And I'm gonna tell you, they're just like termites. Once they're in, they're very hard to get out. So when you're looking at that fortress, I've learned over time, I'm not gonna change because of negative people. I'm not gonna change because of bad people. I'm not gonna change because of bad things that happen to me. When I talk about me, I'm actually acting as if I'm you. So that's part of the training. Does that make sense? So I actually am not going to change. And I did this in a training yesterday. of understanding, don't give your power away. That's a training in itself. Please write that down. Do not give your power away. Okay. How do you say so charged? I mean, it's 9:12. I was up at 7. I went to bed at 5, and you would never know that I only got 2 hours of sleep. Now, I'm going to share that because the title of this training is How Do You Know You're on the Right Path? I'm going to get to that in a second. But all of this is part of that, of staying energized, of keeping the snakes in the grass out of your yard, keeping demons out of your house. You aren't going to stop all of them, but you would like to get it to a ratio of 98 to 2% versus 90%. They're all up in your house to 10% clearance. And when your life is going astray, when it's going awry, and I'm talking about the relationships that you have, when your health is not where it needs to be, when you don't have the contribution, when you don't feel like you have the right people around you, when you don't believe that you're getting the support that you need, that we encounter so much on this path, when you're looking to be able to acquire clients and customers, when you're looking to acquire partners, and nobody's getting it. This has nothing to do with the people. It has to do with the person in the mirror. And the moment you establish my train is not going as fast as it needs to go because it has too much cargo, which is crap. You got to understand, either you put it on there or you allowed it on your train. So you're gonna have to figure out how to unload some of that. It could be mental clutter. I know people that think way too much. They just overthink. If you give them just an ounce of time, they're going to figure out how to create a story in their head. Now, you know why I know that's so true? Because I do it. There's people that immediately hear me talking. I've done it to Christina. Is he talking to me? I've done it to Sue. Why is he pointing out something? It's not targeted at you when it's on this campus. It's like, you got to hear that if there's a vibration in a conversation that you're hearing, it's you. There's something in you that has to be tweaked. Does that make sense? Nod your head if you guys are with me on that so far, right? So we have to find a way to clear all that out. And here's what I understand. The devil is a liar. And the devil is busiest in an idle mind. It's scriptural. It's scriptural. If you, an idle mind that is not filled, listen, Linda, an idle mind that is not filled with purpose, write that down, filled with purpose. You don't get in your car and just start driving. I have done that before, but that's when I needed to just really detox. But you don't do that daily. You don't do that twice a week. You don't do that. You should not be driving without a destination more than once a week. And it should be at midnight when nobody's on the road and you're playing your favorite music and you just need to take a drive. Now, if you're driving more than once a week with no destination, there's a problem. So if you're living daily, more than once a week, confused, not sure, uncertainty, there's a problem. Is that making sense? Are you guys with me on that so far? Now I'm gonna take you somewhere. I got this. I got this. Check this out. So I'm gonna read from my book. Actually, I'm in the middle of writing my book, which I am getting my Pulitzer. And this part happens to be the law of thought. And I go into the universal law of success is the law of thought and manifestation, because I'm in a state of complete manifestation. But see, manifestation comes with when you have purpose, when you have a destination, when you have these things set out, written out, a picture board, a vision board, you have collaboration, you got people around you, you have a dream. You got to have a dream. Martin Luther said, I have a dream. Everybody had a dream. Martin had a dream. Mother Teresa had a dream. A president has a vision. A senator has a vision. Any leader you deal with has this picture in their head. They can see what they're building. They know what they want to build. They may not know. See, it's not a problem. I need you guys to get this. Here's where, and I've said this before, write it down, write it down, write it down. 90% of people fail. 90% of people fail because they want the how-to before they decide. If you decided where you're going, you don't need the how-to. So that I don't mind in the lost space and where I am and what am I doing come from living in that space of trying to figure out the how-to. Well, I don't have the money. Who asked you if you have money? Well, I don't have the resources. Who asked you about that? Well, I don't have the people skills. Well, I'm not a salesperson. Well, I don't understand. What is this? I've never done anything like this before. Well, check this out. You never ran in the snow till you did it. You never had sex till you did it. You never found God till you prayed. What the hell you want from me? Everything you do is going to be a first time. If God's good to you, you're going to go back and talk to him again and again and again and again and again. If the food is good, you're going to go eat it again and again and again. You got to expand yourself into places so that you know what you like, what you don't like, what you love, what you don't love, what feels good, what doesn't feel good. That's the point. Don't go off mark here. Is everybody with me on that so far? Okay, this is a grown folks conversation. If you can't handle it, you shouldn't be on this call. So what we're looking at here right now is understand thoughts become things in accord with the nature of feeling of the thought. More personally, your thoughts manifest in your life experience in accord with the emotions and feelings you associate with your thoughts. One of the simplest statements of the law of thought is, for as I thinketh in my heart, so am I. As they thinketh, as we thinketh in our heart. Got to know the book of Proverbs. I'm just letting you know. So if you don't know it, it's 23:7. To think in one's heart means how they really feel inside about those particular thoughts, what emotions and feelings are associated with them, and how they're attached to what you're doing. See, a further illumination of this is in their heart is given in Matthew 6:21. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be. They're saying the same thing. See, God has a way of giving things to man and woman, womb, man, so that we aren't just talking about a masculine, so you don't misinterpret what I'm saying. So when I say man, I'm talking about all of the above. God has a way of giving things to man and then giving it back to the people. But if you don't take the time to digest and transcribe and interpret it and comprehend how it's speaking into your heart, that's why whenever I get lost, I go back to the word. That's why I became a theologian. That's why theology was one of my majors in college. That's why I studied the Quran. That's why I can tell you about everything in the Bible. Are you guys following me on this so far? Everything that you need has been written. Do you think you're the first person to be exposed or have the emotions that you have, or been in the circumstance you've been in, or being broke like you've been, or gone through divorce like you've gone through, a stillborn like you've gone through, the emotional, carnage of someone taking advantage of you? You think you're the first one on this planet, like, oh, nobody gonna understand. Nobody's gone through what I went through. Everyone has gone through what you went through hundreds of years before you even got here. It's been written about, talked about, and can walk you through it to the other side. But you're so busy and arrogant in your own space of trying to do everything on your own. That's why you're going to be left alone. Oh, Jesus. Al, I don't know. I talked to God when I got up, and I was, ooh. Your heart is the center. Your heart, your heart, your heart, your heart, your heart, your heart. Everybody talks about their heart, but they're so detached from their own. It's amazing. Your heart is the center of your true feelings and emotions. It is always focused on the things that are important to you, your value system, how you feel about yourself. For example, if you have the thought that financial independence is one of your primary objectives in life, then financial independence should begin to manifest in your life over a reasonable period of time. If it does not, then look into your inner feelings. Inside, you may feel, for whatever reason, that you are not worthy of financial independence. It has nothing to do with all the opportunities that are presented. If you don't feel, in your heart and your basic feeling nature about yourself that you deserve the things, conditions, or circumstances that you describe in your thoughts, then they will not happen for you. They will not manifest in your life. Yeah, I wrote all this. This was all written down. They will not manifest in your life. The essence of the law of thought and manifestation is that a thought has two basic aspects. Number one, a rational aspect. the statement of the thought itself, the idea of the words. Number two, an emotional aspect, the personal feelings and emotions associated with the thought. What you recognize in your thinking, you energize in your feelings and emotions. What you recognize in your thinking, you energize in your feelings and emotions. What you energize in your feelings and emotions, you realize in your life experiences. Oh yeah, I'm on one this morning. I hope y'all catching up. Somebody gonna miss the bus on this one. The three primary areas covered by the law of thought and manifestation. Number one, you're gonna have to get a copy of this from Bree. I'm talking too fast. I know how the brain works, but I'm telling you, it's repeated over and over again so that it's imprinted, so I can create what I call a mental tattoo in your soul when you go back and get this. This will change your life, your business, your income, and your address if you follow what I'm saying. The three primary areas covered by the law of thought and manifestation. Number one, thoughts you have about yourself, your self-image. You don't need to work on your business. You need to work on your self-image. You think the world sees you one way or the world sees you totally different just because you're twisted inside. Number two, thoughts you have about others. You know what that's called? See, the first one I said, thoughts you have about yourself. What is that? That's self-image. I want you guys to get this. I'll repeat it again. Number two, thoughts you have about others. You know what that's called? That's called your attitude. Number two. Thoughts you have about the world in general, your world perspective. That's called your outlook on life. Those three primary areas all deal with the law of thought and manifestation. Now I could go through that in deep because that chapter of what I'm doing is the manifesto, and that is a chapter in itself. But I want you to have the outline so that you can have, I got 10 points here of knowing you're on the path of the right path of success. And when I talk to you, talking to myself, talking to you, talking to myself, having a great conversation with myself, I know the right people are going to hear what I got to say. So when you master this law of attraction, you manifest it. I manifested Al Thomas in my life. My thought process of who I want at my table, whether I talk to him daily, weekly, monthly, 6 months, or a year, I don't ever have to worry about, why haven't you called me? Where are you? When you have that, and I've been teaching this to people, when you have a soul connection with somebody, when you have a soul tie, I could show up 100 years later in the next lifetime and it'll be like, we just had coffee yesterday. On the other side, into the third generation of our lives. I don't want to get y'all lost in ancestry of understanding life transference. But anyway, to truly understand, this man is, as you should know, the gift, the blessing to so many. People don't even understand they don't understand how to edify me. The best they get at is, I know Dr. Nelson, I know Byron Nelson. So you have to watch, listen, ooh, Jesus, watch this. Hold it, let me give you these 10, because, I'm gonna put the cart before the horse. You be trying to run, trying to figure it out. You have to talk into the listening at the vibration a person is, the frequency where they are. You can't talk above their head. See, I could talk, but see, you got to know who's your aces in your corner. This man has owned a bank. This man has his own plane. This man has a massive real estate company. This man owns a marketing firm that has changed people's lives, addresses, and blessed people all over the world. This man is a grandfather, a father. This man is a best friend, a mentor. He is my uncle, my father, my brother, my friend. But but more than that, he's my mentor. You got to know how to be able to talk about somebody, because the essence of everything we do is getting yourself out of the way, learning how to write it down, get yourself out of the way. How do I do that, Dr. Nelson? By learning how to create value for something or someone else. Learning how to create value for someone or something else. You got to master the art, and it can't be about you. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say until after you have been validated with credibility through your circle. People are judging you with your circle. You don't have a circle, they're judging you. Now, I don't like a lot of people. I really don't like a lot of people. But my circle, I got a beast circle. My circle is beast. Beast. I can pick up the phone 10 times. And on each of those calls, each of those individuals supersede 99.9% of the planet. Now, I didn't just show up here, and I don't expect you to show up there. But if you don't start climbing the ladder, then you'll stay at the bottom of the pyramid with the rest of all the broke people, talking about who they are and what they do. And that's all they do, is talk about everything else. It has everything, every excuse you could have about why they aren't where they are. Their same conversation is at 18, it's at 28, it's at 38, it's at 48, it's at 58. The conversation stays the same. They just add more elements to it to make it more colorful, to justify through experience their reason for staying broke. And broke has nothing to do with money. It has to do with a mentality. It has to do with an attitude. It has to do with an outlook. It has to do with a sight. It has to do with a vision. It's a broken conversation. My high-end students, before I even roll them out, the first thing I'm doing is saying, tell me everything about you. I'm interested. Write this down, being more interested than interesting. The last student I took on, it was $10,000. They got a chance to spend 2 days with me. I set them up with their financial structure, their marketing plan, how to be able to build the business, how to be able to do everything they needed to do, and an entire inquiry, if you will, inquiry into what would stop them and how they would have breakthroughs through that. And the first thing that I did, I'm giving this away for free to you guys. I'm telling you exactly what I did. If I were to coach you personally, right now I'm not in that space, I'm not coaching, I would say, I need to know everything about you, Al. Caroline, I need to know everything. So I need you to take the time. And you know what they all do when I do this? I've done it for over like 2 decades. They get excited, like I'm about to finally be able to talk to Dr. Nelson. And because you know, misery loves company. So they want to pour out all of their crap. And so I stop them right there and I said, so here it is. I need you to go and record everything for 2 hours and then send it to me. And the bad parts, I need you to repeat it again, at least 3 to 5 times. And I've had them do it and they send it to me. And guess what I do after that? I send it right back to them. I said, now I need you to listen to this for 1 full day of all your excuses and all the bad things and all this negative stuff that's happening in your life. And tell me when you get tired of hearing all the stories in there. When you finally get tired of hearing your own story, that's when I want you to call me, because that's our starting point when I can actually pour into you. Until then, you're going to keep pulling from your past, keep pulling from your hell, keep pulling from you being invaded by a man, keep pulling from how you didn't have the right daddy, keep pulling from you were too well taken care of and you didn't learn how to stand on your feet. Pulling from the fact that I was an orphan, pulling from the fact that I didn't have any money, pulling from the fact that I wasn't good in school, pulling from the fact that I was enabled, pulling from all this stuff, pulling from I just came out of a bad relationship, pulling from nobody loved me, pulling from I just love on everybody else. When we get tired of hearing that story, I'm serious. I make them listen to it. And I'm like, here's the starting point. It's 8 a.m. You ready to start? Excellent. Push play. I'm just going to put it on mute. I'm going to turn my volume down because I want to hear it. I want you to say it over and over until you get tired of saying everything, because they have to record it, then they have to transcribe it, then they have to read it back to themselves. I don't want to hear your shit. Excuse my language. I want to hear your story. I'm here to fix your life. not be a dumping board for all the crap you got going on that you're holding on to as an excuse for failure. I just gave you guys a $10,000 lesson. So how do I know? How do I know if I'm on the path of success? How do I keep my tank full? You tell me, Dr. Nelson, you only got 2 hours of sleep the night before, you went to bed at 4 or 2, and I'm not encouraging that you guys go without sleep, because I built a life. So guess what I'm going to do after I finish with you guys? I'm going to drink my water. I'm going to drink my hot lemon with garlic, and then I'm going to go back to sleep. Well, it's Friday. It doesn't matter if it's Monday. It's called, write this down, designing a life. Master the art of designing your life. Learn who's at your table, who you can pick and choose. The people who know how to hold space for you when you're going through crap. The ones who know how to give you a hug when you need a hug. The ones that don't abandon you just because time and space is when. Even when, because they know when you come through, you're going to come through. That's who Al Thomas is to me. That's who Camille on here, Fabulous, is to me. That's who Sam, that's who Bree is to me. I could go through quite a few people. I got people who understand what it takes to be able to make that happen. But we can't do that until we look in the mirror and say, okay, I need to fix me. I am worthy. You need to know, if nobody gave you permission to be great, I'm giving you permission to be great. There's no way you can be on my call with me headlining this call and not be extraordinary. I know you're extraordinary. Do you freaking know you're extraordinary? Because you cannot be beat up more than you can beat yourself up by anybody else without having extraordinary in you. These are the conversations God allows to be able to speak back to me, because he's in you. He's not around you. He's everywhere. Let's start with he's inside of you. You were made in the likeness of. You are a miracle, a freaking miracle. This goes into my 10 things here that I want you to have, so you know how to access it. Someone has your check. You don't sit up there and keep going to work for 3 weeks and you're supposed to get paid every Friday. And you're like, well, they didn't give me a check. Okay, I'll just go back to work. No, you're going to go find the person that got your check. Stop waiting on any single person, anybody for something you can do for yourself. Stop making somebody else the reason and the blame. This person said they were going to do X, Y. This person was going to give me X, Y. Don't do it. Get up. And you'll find something. Inertia is a scary thing. When you decide to do something and energy moves, it's going to burn off the wrong ones and attract the right ones. And you won't even be thinking about the ones that didn't give you what you thought you needed. It will burn off the wrong ones and it will attract the right ones. Other twin flames will show up. Other burning fires will show up. Other lifting up will show up. Other support will show up. More love will show up. More people that got hands that have calluses will start picking up bricks and they'll start building the wall. They will come into your life. You don't have to know who they are. You don't even freaking know who they are yet, because you haven't decided to be who you need to be. They will find you. Stop looking at your past and what's around you and who's in your life now. Be who you need to be and shed the tree so you can attract a new harvest. Here's my 10 things to know you're on the right path. Number 1, excitement. Some people are like, I'm just not, this is just who I am. You need to change who the hell you are. Nothing moves without excitement. Nothing moves without, can you see me now? Can you see me now? Can you see me now? Nothing moves without, I need energy. I need energy. This world was made colorful for a reason. You need to be colorful. You could turn it off when you decide to go home, when you decide to be reclusive. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to be boisterous. But you do There's not a movie that will look at all the high ticket items to make money. A movie, the best movies, some of them aren't even good. But you know why everybody went to go see it? The trailer. What's your trailer look like? When people see, hear, or taste, or feel, and your senses are kicked in, when they can see you, do they see a good trailer? When they hear about you, is it an amazing trailer? When they smell you, do they have a good trailer? All the senses, when they kick in. Do the hormones start to, do you get scared from a scary movie? Do you get happy about a comedy? Are you the one that's adventurous? The ones that are sci-fi? Whatever you've ever watched in your life, are you that? You don't have to be anyone, but your trailer. Are you excited about your movie? It's your freaking movie. Number 2, enthusiasm. That comes from the word God. You can't even explain enthusiasm. It's something that comes from a God feeling inside of you. I am just so, I can't explain how this person that I've met, the person, are you that person that inspires, that gets people excited about? I am so glad that I met Sam Foster. I am so amazingly excited that I met Lurleen. My God, when I met Daryl, you have no idea why. I don't know how I'm so blessed. Are you that blessing? Not that matter-of-fact helper that just walks in like a doormat and then they walk out on you. Number 3, passion. Do I look like I got passion? Do I act like I got passion? It was called the passion for Christ, for Christ's sake. Passion. Every freaking day. Reset, push. When I closed my eyes at 4 or 5 this morning plus and woke up, I had the alarm go off 3 times. I knew my responsibility. And I just, I had to go actually 4 times. And it's the reason I do that is until I can get passionate about why I'm waking up, I have to come out of that fog when I have the tank a little empty. I was like, I can't wait to do this. I can't wait for this call. If I could change one life, God, if I reach just one soul that doesn't recognize themselves in 2024, they will scream my name for the rest of my life. I'll never have to do advertising. I won't have to pay $1 for marketing. I won't have to talk to one person in Mexico because I got one Latino on here. I won't have to talk to one Jewish person in the community because I got one Jew. I won't have to talk to one brother to go into the hood because I got one brother. If I could just get one person once a week, 52 people in a year, I don't ever have to pay for a marketing dollar in my life. They will post, yell, talk about me more than $5 million that you have in your pocket. Amazing. Number 4, we have to speed through this. I'm gonna attempt to finish this in 5 minutes. I'm gonna finish it up and go into the depth of it next week. I'm gonna keep these 10 out and go into a depth of it. Number 4, a picture. People don't think in terms of things, or if I said, Red Can, the first thing you think of is Folgers or Coca-Cola. People think in terms of pictures. So until you master the art of a picture, that's why it's called vision. Vision in V-I-S-I-O-N. Vision inspires success in others now. The picture has to be pristine. When you step out, what is your elevator pitch? Is it, can you sell me a $60,000 picture in 2 minutes? And how do you sell? By not selling. I'm gonna get into that in a second. So I just jumped ahead. So I said picture. So number 5 is actually sharing. The art of selling is the art of sharing. The art of sharing is the art of the mastery of creating value. The art of mastery of creating value is the mastery of painting a picture. When I share my opportunity, which is me, by the way, everything else I do is on the exterior of what I do. Essential services, ... Are y'all with me on that so far? But when I'm selling me, the picture has to be so big, it has to be a mural. It has to be a masterpiece. that the Latin person sees himself, the Black person sees himself, the white person sees himself, the Jewish person sees himself, the Italian person sees himself, the Indian man sees himself, the Persian person sees himself, the little man over in Africa sees himself, the Sri Lankan sees himself, and the person from Colombia sees himself, the person from Mexico sees himself, and the little boy that's on the corner store sees himself. The little girl who never had a father sees himself. The woman that just went through divorce, raising 3, 4 kids by themselves, they see themselves. See, it doesn't matter. The person is rich, they see themselves. The person that has nothing, they see themselves. The person that has no way out on life, they see themselves. The person is already thriving, they see how to get higher. So you have to be able to paint a picture that is so pure that everyone can see themselves. It's not regulated to any one person. Like people are like, well, what's the right type of person to go after? People that breathe. How about that? Number 5 was sharing. Number 6, self-development. How much are you growing yourself? 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 I'm gonna cut this off in 2 minutes because I just want to I want to respect the space and the time and my cast here. So like I said, I'm gonna jump deep into this on Friday. I'm going back over this. I will expand. So number 6 is self-development. Number 7 is goals. Number 8 is being scared. If you aren't scared of where you are, you're in the wrong place. I talk to people all the time. I'm scared. I don't know where you're supposed to be scared. If you aren't scared, you aren't growing. You aren't going nowhere. You need to be scared. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Enrollment conversation. Mastering the art of an enrollment conversation. I'll go into this next week. Enrollment registration activation. 90% of your life is the mastery of an enrollment conversation. You want to date somebody, they have to be enrolled. You want to go to college, you have to be enrolled. You want to do a business, you have to be enrolled, and then you have to enroll somebody else. And then they have to register. That's where the action takes place. If people aren't actively becoming a client or a customer, if people are not actively becoming a business partner to you, if people are not actively sitting at your table that you want at your table, you have a weak enrollment conversation. It may sound intelligent to you, but then it goes back to that smut of all the conversation. Everything sounds, your story, you don't even know your story is excuse me for cursing, is shit. You don't even know that your conversation is entangled with your past and your pain. And people can see it. You're passionate. That's why you got to go back and listen to this conversation, this training. You're passionate about your pain and your past. And what was Jesus great at? Casting vision for what was to come. Here's where you are. This is where you're going. The only reason he talked about the past is so you could avoid mistakes, not to glorify your ego. Ooh, Jesus. It's his fault. This is Al, it's God's fault. I'm almost there. I'm telling you, he put me on one this morning.
I love it, sir. I love it. I love it. Everybody need to go back and listen to it.
Man.
I love it. Continue.
So the last 2, I got the last 2. You got to be exhausted. Me and Al, we work 8 to faint. If I'm not passing out, I'm pissed off when people are taking up my oxygen in my space and I'm not being productive. If I'm in conversations too long and I don't feel like I'm getting somewhere. Now, if I'm serving, I don't have a problem with that because I'm getting somewhere. If they're serving, I don't have a problem with that. But just oxygen being taken up and nothing moving forward, is this making sense? Are y'all following me on that so far? Number 5 was self-development. I'll go back, I'll recap it for you in a second. But you got to be exhausted at the end of the day. I was so tired. I literally worked from the time I woke up yesterday till 4 o'clock this morning. And I was so excited about completing tasks, moving the needle, getting things done. I was like, okay, I got that. Let me kill 3 birds with 1 stone. I had a conversation. I was doing cardio. I was recording another call. I was doing that on a personal note. I did this. I put a checklist together. Okay, I did this. I transferred money. Okay, I got this. I got this paid. I got this. I got my goals set out. I was working all in that time. And I don't mind. I was so excited and exhausted that when I woke up, I couldn't wait to get back to work. I was like, I'm not done. Because it takes so hard to get into a rhythm. When you get in a rhythm, that's where the momentum comes. And that's where that fire, that flint rock, that match, that fire, it catches fire. When you take two flint rocks, you try to get a fire in the woods. Are y'all following me on that so far? Yeah. You just see a little smoke. Oh, I'm on to something here. I'm a little cold right now. I don't have the money I need right now. I don't have the love that I want right now. I don't have the people I need right now. But I can see it. Heat is coming. I see the little fire. I just need a little bit more passion. I just need a little bit more enthusiasm. I just need a little bit more excitement. I need to get greater at painting a picture. I need to just grow myself some more. I need to have set goals that I'm going to hit. Oh, I'm scared as hell. Oh, Jesus, I need to share with some more people. I need to go to the mount. I need to go to the mount. I need to go to the Sermon on the Mount. I need more people to hear my conversation. Okay, I need to share. I need to learn how to enroll, okay? Because he said, walk in. If they don't hear what you got to say, turn out, go home, and if you turn around again, I'll turn you into a pillar of salt. Just keep going from city to city. Keep walking, okay? Oh shit, I'm tired. I'm tired. Okay, I'm gonna start again tomorrow. So what do I gotta do to cap this off with a bonus and the icing on the cake? I need to become a master storyteller. I'll see some of y'all today, tomorrow, and everybody by next Friday. I love you guys. I am complete, Dr. Al Thomas.